Hey, what's up guys, the boy I'm making 2, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 20 of Uchiha Naruto, the Sage. Get this one to 100 like as usual. Remember to share to all of your friends on your social media platform, and go ahead and check out all of the other what ifs. And also, I'll be leaving a link at the top of the description for my main channel, where you can enjoy over 400 lovely what ifs. And if you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join the Anime King family. And enjoy. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. Start the intro. You can change. You satisfy the rage in me. Take away my pain. You satisfy the rage in me. So to do a bit of a recap, in the last part, Naruto revealed his sharingan. He beat Neji down to a pulp, where Genma had to came in and save Neji from Naruto's giant fireball. Naruto won the match, and Sarutobi told everyone Naruto Namikaze won, as he explained Naruto heritage, as most people couldn't believe it. Yeah, and the last thing we left off with was Lee and Gaara facing off. The battle was like in the preliminaries, like in the original series, as Lee turned on the gates and beat Gaara badly. But in the end, Gaara come on top as he crushed Lee hand and foot with his sand. He was about to bury Lee in a sand coffin when Guy jumped down and stopped it. So yeah, if you haven't yet, go across and check out the playlist. So let's get straight in this new episode. Gaara looked over at Lee and Guy. "Why did you save him?" he said in a cold and emotionless voice. "He is my student, my pride, my joy," Guy replied as he took Lee over to the medics. Lee had pushed himself too far. Opening the gates did damage to his body, and Gaara last crushing his foot and his hand make it even worse, as Lee fell unconscious because of all the pain. Genma looked as he mumbled out the words, "The winner is Gaara," as Gaara silently made his way back to the contestant's booth. He did not need a medics as his wounds were healed. He was now fine. While Naruto was pleased what he just saw, both Gaara and Lee were capable genins. Lee must be really strong to compete with a Jinchuriki at the way he was. The boy was truly something. You see what dedication and hard work will get you. "Will Sasuke Uchiha and Conqueror of the Sand step forward please?" Genma called out. Sasuke smiled with excitement as he went down to the arena, as he was ready to test his opponent. After watching Gaara's fight, he wanted to prove that he is even better than Gaara and stronger. Conqueror stepped forward, but he stopped before reaching the middle of the arena. "Proctor, I forfeit." His words started boo all around the arena, as everyone was booing him, as the people wanted to see Sasuke, the last Uchiha, well, not again, fight. Genma looked at Conqueror without interest. He thought that if he didn't want to fight, why the hell did he came to the stadium? Sasuke was now fuming. He wanted to fight and his opponent just give up, forfeit like that? He turned and looked at Conqueror with his sharingan eyes. "Why? Are you afraid of me?" Sasuke said with a smirk on his face, as Conqueror turned and looked at him. The crowd think the same way as they shouted, "He's afraid of the Uchiha." But Conqueror, it had no effect on him, as he just blinked 2 times. He then turned to walk away. As Sasuke gritted his teeth, his attempt failed. "Well then, I'm going to make you fight," as he held out his right hand, and lightning began to spark on his palm. No sooner than later, the sound of chirping birds ring through the arena. Jonins recognized Sasuke jutsu as Kakashi trademark assassination jutsu. Shidori! Sasuke yelled as he ran towards Kankuro. If you don't want to fight, then I will force you to. The crowd did not see a problem with Sasuke's actions. In fact, they cheered. Kankuro was alarmed as he turned around as he saw the jutsu in Sasuke's arm and widened his eyes. Lucky for him, Genma knew how powerful this jutsu was as he stepped in, as he grabbed Sasuke's right arm and twisted it, making Sasuke lose control, and the Shidori burst and fade away as the lightning dispersed. Sasuke gave Genma a death glare, but Genma ignored him. You are lucky, said Genma, that I stopped him. If I didn't, you would have been killed, Genma said to Kankuro. Kankuro scoffed as he walked away, earning boos from the crowd. Let me go, Sasuke yelled at Genma, who was still holding his hand. Genma ignored Sasuke as he looked back at the crowd. Sasuke Uchiha will proceed to the next round, he said. Kakashi then appeared beside Genma and Sasuke as Genma let go of Sasuke. Kakashi placed a hand on Sasuke's shoulder and the both of them disappeared in swirling leaf. As they appeared where the rest of the Konoha 12 were. Genma sighed. Will Shikamaru and Temari please step forward? This match turned out the same way as the canon, where Shikamaru captured her in the Shadow Possession Jutsu, but he gave up because he knew that he was going to run out of chakra, so he decided to forfeit. After the match was over, Genma said that we're going to be taking 20-minute break as Gaara Sun Shin inside of the arena with his son. I don't need to take a break. Let's continue now, he said emotionlessly. Genma turned to the Hokage, asked him what to do, as Sarutobi told him to do what he feels best. Okay, said Genma, since one of the fighters decided that he didn't need to take a break, let's just go into the second round, Genma said. As he got cheers from the crowd, they didn't want any 20 minutes break. They also wanted to see the match. The matches would be like this. Winner of match 1 will face winner of match 2. Winner of match 3 will face winner of match 4. The first round and the first one. As he trailed off, remembering something important, a young woman that was sitting near the fighting arena spoke for him. Namikaze Naruto. The young woman earned some chuckles from the spectators. Genma coughed to get everyone to return their attention to him. Thank you, he said as he looked at the young woman. The match will be Namikaze Naruto versus Gaara of the Sun. Gaara was already here. So, will Namikaze Naruto please step forward? As fire then ignited in the ring as Naruto walked out of it. You can begin, Genma said as he jumped back. Gaara grinned at Naruto. Mother has been waiting to feed on your blood. Naruto raised an eyebrow as he figured that it was the Shikaku whispering things in his ears. Given what Zetsu has told Naruto about Gaara's tragic childhood, it was not surprising that Gaara would give in to Shikaku's influence. I have seen the extent of your power, so I do not need to test you myself, said Naruto as he looked at Gaara. And I will not be holding back. As Naruto jumped and ran through hand signs as he said fire release, majestic fire destruction, as he blasts a large stream of fire down towards Gaara. As Naruto is still blowing the flames out of his mouth as it expands around all of the arena. Naruto wanted to see how long will Gaara's sand defense hold out, as Gaara was in there as he made his sand so dense to protect him, as his family were worried for his safety. It was like he was thrown in a pit of fire. Gaara saw the flames coming and made his sand create a dome around him. The sand held up, but the intense heat of the flames made it unbearable for him, as the intense heat inside made it hard for him to breathe. The heat was sucking out the oxygen inside of his shell. Naruto then stopped his jutsu. The flames cleared, and Gaara's protective sand crumbled down into dust as Gaara dropped out and fell on his knee, as he was breathing heavily, as he could not stand up, as one of his eyes were closed and he was covered in sweat. That Genin Naruto Namikaze is surely brutal, the Kazekage said inside of the cage booth. He sure is, the Hokage nodded. Still, I am interested how he will do against my Gaara, the Kazekage said, as Sarutobi looked at him, as Jiraiya also looked at him, as the both of them then looked back to the fight. You did well on surviving that, Naruto said, as he looked down at Gaara, who is still huffing, as Gaara uses sand to put him back to his feet. But will you be able to stand after my next assault? As Naruto Sharingan started to morph in the Mangekyou Sharingan. Most who knew this, their eyes widened as they saw Naruto at such a young age with the Mangekyou. Not even Itachi, a prodigy, a master of the Sharingan, awakened the Mangekyou at this age. The Kazekage's eyes lit yellow for a second when he saw Naruto's Mangekyou, as Orochimaru couldn't believe it. He knew full well what one had to do to awaken it, as he do a lot of research about it. The Mangekyou made him admire Naruto even more. He would be so happy if he could have both Sasuke and Naruto by his side. His eyes then opened wide as he saw what Naruto was preparing to do, as a blue chakra started to form around Naruto, as the blue chakra became very dark blue, as it took a giant skeleton that surrounded Naruto. Susanoo, said Naruto. Naruto Susanoo shocked many who haven't seen anything like this before. At the cage booth, Sarutobi was just sitting there with wide eyes. Even Jiraiya, they were dumbstruck as the Kazekage chuckled darkly as he was at his edge of his seat. Gaara continued to watch Naruto as he showed no fear in his eyes. He just had an emotionless face. The crowd was at awe at what they were seeing. They never expected something like this from a genin at the Chunin exams. It was like watching some X-class criminal fighting and display their strength. My incomplete Susanoo versus your perfect defense. Let's see which one is stronger, Naruto said as he smirked at Gaara. The Susanoo charged towards Gaara. It is not as big as how Madara would have made the Susanoo, because Naruto wanted to move freely and flexible in the arena. As a blue sword made out of nothing, as he swung it at Gaara. Gaara used his sand to defend him, but the Susanoo sword broke right through it, as Gaara made his sand more dense as he's holding off the blade. But his eyes opened wide when the Susanoo came into a fist, as Gaara put a sand shield in front of him, but he was still blown back. Susanoo then held out another arm as another blade formed in his left arm. Gaara then sent a sand shower towards Naruto. The Susanoo swung its blade and propelled the sand away from it with his blade. As the Susanoo fused his blade and making another long blade and held it in his right arm, it swung the blade towards Gaara, who created a wall of defense to avoid the hit. But the blade broke right through with a great difference in power as it hit Gaara. The power of the attack sending him crash towards the wall as Gaara was in a crater, as his body then dropped out of the wall as he dropped to the ground as blood was gushing from him. As Naruto wasn't finished yet, He rushed towards Gaara and picked him up. He slammed Gaara into the wall, making another crater. He then pulled back his fist and punched Gaara directly through the wall as Gaara coughed up a huge gust of blood as he broke right through the wall, taking a lot of damage. The Susanoo hand went over and grabbed Gaara and threw him right in the middle of the arena as blood was still gushing out of him. He had a wound at his side and his mouth was leaking as he lay down on the ground. As the Susanoo jumped forward and slammed his hand on Gaara, creating another crater. As the Susanoo grabbed his feet and slammed him in the ground again, he threw him straight up in the air as the Susanoo jumped straight up and punched him straight down to the ground. Gaara used some of his sand to create a kind of a cushion, but his body still made a great impact into the ground as all of his sand peeled off of his skin. His real body was now heavily bruised and he was bleeding almost everywhere as blood stained his clothes. As he's breathing, he was breathing very heavily. If he was a normal person, he would be unconscious or dead right now. Because of the sand, he only broke a few ribs. Suddenly, feathers began to fall inside of the stadium and the crowd began to fall asleep. Genjutsu. So the invasion start, Naruto said to himself, as no sooner the wall break down, Naruto deactivated his Susanoo as he went over and looked at Gaara. As he then felt something coming towards him, he quickly dodged as he then saw a Sound Ninja threw a kunai towards him. Naruto rushed over at the Sound Ninja as he pulled out his sword and with immense speed, one clean slice, he sliced off the Sound Ninja's head. He then looked over to see Gaara and his siblings running off as the both of them were carrying him. He then saw Sasuke running after Gaara. Naruto shook his head. Gaara was in no condition to fight unless he used Shikaku's chakra. The chakra would heal him and Sasuke could not defeat the Shikaku. Naruto then dropped on his knees as he was in extreme pain. Using Susanoo had its benefit, but it put his body in extreme pain. He needed to train some more and get stronger to perfectly use it. With a lot more training, he would be able to use it without any side effect. He was still too young and he needed to grow his body to more mature. Naruto then got up as he found himself surrounded by 10 Sound Shinobis as they smirked at him, like a smirk to tell him that they promised him pain. "So, do you guys wish to dance with me?" Naruto said as he activated his Mangekyou Sharingan. And 1 second, all of the Shinobis were dead as Naruto used his Susanoo arm with the sword as he cut them all down to pieces. He deactivated it as he turned and looked around. 5 more jumped as they looked at Naruto. They all pulled out swords. Naruto ran through some hand signs as he let out a great flame that surrounded him and he pushed it forward. All of them saw the flame coming as 2 of them ran through some hand signs as they did water style to try and protect them. But Naruto flame ran right through the water as the water quickly evaporated. It was too deadly to stop as the flame reached them and burned your skin, leaving nothing as they all was burned to a crisp. Naruto then jumped to the roof of the stadium. As he looked around, he saw a purple barrier on the top of the academy building. Naruto figured that that must be where Orochimaru and Sarutobi was fighting. Naruto was sure that Sarutobi could take care of himself against Orochimaru. At the walls of the village, giant summoning snake was destroying the walls as Konoha ninjas tried their best to stop the summoning snakes from entering and destroying the village. As Naruto then saw large toad summonings pop into existence and start to fight off the summoning snakes, as he knew that Jiraiya was responsible for this. Naruto then activated Susanoo once more, only the ribs, as it was around him, as he went off to fight some sand and sound shinobi. Earth style, Mud Dragon. A Mud Dragon hit Naruto from behind as it crashed into his Susanoo and sending Naruto off the roof. Naruto was so busy with his thoughts, he forgot that he was in the middle of an invasion. Naruto then got up as he made the Susanoo form around him, as Susanoo got up on two legs, as it extended his arms and take out his two blades, as it run the blade right through a large portion of the sound and sand shinobis, as he wiped a lot of them out. He then deactivated Susanoo as he dropped down on the ground. He was huffing, but he got back up. This Susanoo consumed a lot of chakra, so best that he just fight in his normal form and not waste Susanoo on anyone too weak and couldn't even defeat him in his normal form. Two ninjas then jumped down as they both surround Naruto. Naruto didn't move. Orochimaru have some business to attend with you. He wants you to come with us. If you refuse, we will take you by force. As Naruto scanned the both of them, they were stronger than the previous one, and they seemed confident in their abilities. But it doesn't matter. The both of them are foolish. Naruto did not respond, as he then sighed and said, Tsukiyomi, as the sound Jonin found himself warped into another world. As the world he was in, the sky was red and black, as endless blood run on the ground. As he saw Naruto appear behind him with the Mangekyou Sharingans, as he could not move. His feet were stuck in the blood and he was being pulled under. He then suddenly stopped right at his torso. His hand and his feet were covered in blood and he couldn't move, as Naruto appeared in front of him with a black blade in his hand as he pointed it at the Jonin. This is my world. I control everything here. And for the next 72 hours, I will make sure you suffer, Naruto said in an evil tone, as Naruto continued to pierce the man in his chest over and over and over again, showing no mercy or no emotion on his face. As the sound Jonin stopped screaming in the fake world after a few hours, as Naruto cancelled the jutsu, in the real world, the sound Jonin fell on the ground. So, who's next? Said Naruto with the insane smile on his face again. But guys, I'm gonna be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below and turn on that bell notification. And if you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join the Anime King family. And thank you all. But for now, I'm out. Peace.